welcome back to Frozen Syndication. This is Ed. Today I'm going to be talking about BOXL again. I did give an update on this somewhere around, I believe, on towards the weekend, and it did follow through towards a positive trend. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to do a quick update in terms of news coming in terms not only news from the website, but what is the probable movement for this stock based on the catalyst that it's performing with. I also added in the description right now the full DD video that did mention a lot more things and details than I would today, as this is an update. So first things first, we're going to do 1 month, 1 day perspective. You get to see that the 10 SMA is above the 30 EMA. The price is above all kinds of averages that you're looking at, whether 200 SMA, 50 SMA. So it is at a high bull run. Now, from the day before, you get to see a little bit of a difference here. We're talking about an average directional index that increased. Above 50 is usually a little bit of a warning sign, but just because this has a lot of hype behind it, it actually might trade a little bit differently. The William Percent R saw a little bit of a pullback where it was actually overbought the day before, and then it did jump quite a bit and then saw a little bit of a pullback there today at some point. And that's why I have an upper tail. So in terms of momentum, it looks like it has decreased its momentum a little, slowed down a little, although the MACD seems to have a massive jump in terms of volume. It has doubled the day before. So in order to increase in there, I expect it would require more volume. So now we're going to go through 5 days, 1 hour perspective. And you get to see that the stock did gap up and then did have a good jump before it saw a little bit of a pullback there. In terms of the MACD, this is a little bit of a dangerous sign. You get to see that it has actually gone negative, and that's actually the first time ever since the 9th of July. So this is a little bit of a dangerous sign what we're looking at, especially since the VWAP is actually above the stock price. The stock is in the trading action zone, though. That's between the 10 SMA and the 30 EMA, where reversals could be likely. You get to see that it did see a reversal here before when it met it, and did see it once here. So it could be that we actually see another reversal later on. And this actually kind of MACD drawback could be short-lived. What else we're going to be looking at here? In terms of William Percent R, it seems to be actually at a neutral. And in terms of momentum, it looks like it has very little momentum, but it did see that kind of momentum hit low around here as well. So that's not necessarily some bad news in that sense. 10 SMA is still above the 30 EMA. Let's take a quick look into Fibonacci retracements and try to identify what kind of supports there are. So before doing that, we're going to look into the moving average. You get to see the stock price is way above the moving average. Let's try to look into the 1 month, 2 hours and see if it actually caught up. You get to see that it's still above there in terms of the 2 hour perspective. And it would, if it continues to see that kind of movement, it would probably see, here, let's give it a quick test, 125, 157, around the $2 to the moving average where it would catch up. But that still would be the top band, right? So, taking it quickly here, you get to see that the highest it actually reached was 274, and it hasn't reached that all the way since back end of October, and it seems to be only a 1 day jump. So it has seen quite of a jump there. What we're going to try to do is going to quickly try to do Fibonacci retracements, identify what the next supports resistances are. And we have enough data from today's action. So we're going to do there 030. And then we're going to do 1 month, 1 hour period. And then basically you get to see here that there is a current support sitting around 175 to 182. There is another one above that at 191, although it seems to kind of poking through it. So around 174 to 182 seems to be the current solid support. The next resistance would be around 215 to 222. And then following that would be somewhere where the upper tail is. Now, it's a little bit harder to identify that kind of resistance, but you need to be careful. But at least it has a support happening at 182. 174 to 182, and then another resistance at 215. So there's still room to grow in here. Quickly going on, we're going to look into trend lines. And what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to look into trend lines for the intraday. So first off, we're going to do just a normal trend line, and then I'm going to try to see if there's a channel that I can kind of go through. So this could be considered one of the trend lines that you're actually looking at, and it still hasn't broken that trend line. Another one that can be considered would be this one here. where it did kind of break it at the moment, but it's only the tail, so that could be fine. Let's try to identify where the channel is. You see, it has already broken up that channel, so the channel is somewhere around there, and it does have. Well, this channel will catch up with the price eventually, but it still hasn't broken that channel. It did break it above, which is fine, but hasn't broken the bottom side of the channel. RSI here shows that the price is a little bit on a neutral today, and you get to see what's actually happening here on a one-day perspective. Just as soon as it loads up quickly, is that it is being overbought still. At a lower rate though, but it's still being overbought. Now we're going on to the latest news. Los Angeles and San Diego schools to go online in the fall only. This article was from the New York Times. You can go ahead and read it from California, basically some California larger schools. Today they've actually a little bit went back on some of the openings, so understandable in terms of that. Several big U.S. school districts are extending remote classes into the fall. So it goes on to a little bit of New York City here, that they have plans to reopen for at least in-person instruction in the fall. That will be coming up soon. Nashville, basically going to have offer remote learning at least to Labor Day. So you can go ahead and read a little bit of the different schools, but it seems that there could be continuous catalysts coming on here. And even if you're talking about a blended program or technology, as I said before in the last video, this company has technologies to offer. This is a proxy vote kind of request. They're going to be voting on 4 different things later on. It's a little bit in the future, so you don't really need to worry about it much, but it includes raising 20% more shares. That's the most important thing over there. But I believe that's not happening until September 4th, 2020. So you don't need to worry about this for a while. Unless you're doing a long hold, then you can worry about it closer to the time. In terms of well, this is actually the same thing as a notice. All right, so please mention down in the comment below, what do you think about the stock? Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day.